Well, good morning from spectacular Lake Louise, the jewel of the Canadian Rockies. I've come up here to do a live virtual tour, so I'm not going to give you much of a tour at the moment, but the light is just so perfect. However, I have a bit of time before my tour, so I am going to hike up to the viewpoint up on Mount Fairview, where I cannot take people on virtual tours because I dropped my reception up there. So this is just a quick little introduction before I go and do that. We are at the end of August, so it's just above, a few degrees above freezing here. There's the Victoria Glacier. So come for a little hike with me and I will take you up above and look down on this magical environment here. Off we go. And hello again. So I have just hiked up just 1.5 kilometers, but from the water's edge down there up to the Fairview overlook. Of course, I'm up around 2,000 meters above sea level, or over 6,000 feet. So even a little walk like that takes a bit more time, but here we are looking over truly magnificent Lake Louise in all of its glory. Out in the distance is Mount Hector. See that very distinctly? However, what I'd love to show you there is at the very top, should you remember this bit of history, that looks like Snoopy sleeping on his doghouse, if you happen to ever be a Snoopy fan. That is the road up towards Jasper in that valley, and around Mount Purin in the distance here is the road that goes down into British Columbia. We're near the border. So here's just a nice plaque with a little bit of a history of the lake over here. Since we can't export the scenery, we'll import the tourists, is what William Van Horn said. And they started building these great hotels. And of course, this one burnt down in 1924 because that's what all those old wood structures did once upon a time. But what I'd love to share with everyone is, just as I'll curve around in the distance here, you can see some of the ski runs in the distance of Lake Louise. That is the Lake Louise ski area. The summit, a little bit hazy this morning, but it is remarkable. And of course, in the winter time, I spent a lot of time skiing there. The largest resort in the country is Whistler Blackcomb, but really the largest single ski area is magnificent Lake Louise. And here we are in this old forest, and I just thought I would take everyone for a little stroll down here for a minute. So look at that. Avalanche beyond this point, no maintained trail beyond this point. Now, I will be very careful, of course, but in the wintertime, I wouldn't go down here because there are avalanches. And when walking in the Canadian Rockies, you must be extremely careful of all of these roots that come up out of the ground. And of course, the topsoil is very, very thin here. But out through here, we open up into a bit of an avalanche valley on this side. And there are big avalanche chutes down here. And so I'm not going to go too far. I did see a few more fun birds on the way up here. And this is a place where my actual real life reception drops off. And therefore, I cannot do a live virtual tour here. But here we are on big rockfall avalanche chutes. And there indeed is the Victoria Glacier in the distance. And the very top of that mountain is in fact the Continental Divide. So anything that melts on top, this side, will eventually end up in the Hudson's Bay in the Atlantic coast. And on the other side, we'll end up in the Pacific, go down at the Kicking Horse Valley, and then on to the Columbia Valley. Look at these wonderful cliffs up here on the side of Mount Fairview. Spectacular. And there is a little patch of snow up in there. You might have just heard a train way down in the valley as well. So that glacier is receding quite quickly. In about 2 months from now, yes, we're nearly September, October, November. Yep, this will be iced over and starting to freeze again. And I could well be skating on it in November. So there is spectacular Lake Louise in all its glory. So thank you for joining me on this beautiful morning here. And do come and join me for a live virtual tour at some point. I'll put up links in the description. Good morning. Happy end of summer from the Canadian Rockies. So I'm just wandering down from the lake itself. You might hear Lake Louise Creek rushing down below me. So So I always park about the Great Divide parking trail, it's called, and that way I don't pay for parking when I'm up here. There's a little hint to know, and there's the main road coming up towards the lake itself. But this time of year, the parking lot will fill up, and then people are forced down to shuttles, and they need to do it. See, there's a sign saying no mountain biking down here, but I cross-country ski on this path in the winter. But across from me in the distance, there's Mount Whitehorn, and that is the ski area of Lake Louise once again. See a few of the brand new runs that were actually cut this last winter, if you're able to make them out. And so I'm going to wander down, and when I am in this Lake Louise area, I'm really just about 10 kilometers from the Continental Divide and the border with British Columbia. So it is a gorgeous morning. So thank you for coming on this little video with me. The sign says hill ahead. That's when you're on your cross-country skis. It gets quite steep down through here. And yes, the entrance into Moraine Lake is totally sealed off. If you're unfamiliar with that, there is a video here on the YouTube early in the season. But Moraine Lake is the other big glacial lake just in this immediate area through here. And it is spectacular. And even though it's getting down towards freezing, we still have a few wild mountain flowers around. Isn't that just gorgeous to see? And they'll be gone pretty soon just because it's getting so cold. But all sorts of good hiking. And when I say cold, it's cold overnight and then warm in the days. So it's pretty easy. September is still a gorgeous month to travel here. So thank you for joining me on the video and for coming once again to beautiful Lake Louise. And I look forward to seeing you on another video. So quick hello to everyone. All the very best. Hey, thanks for connecting on this YouTube channel too. Come on a live tour sometime. That's even more fun.